maybe, just maybe, we as a people can move forward once we come out of those petty thoughts. I've looked and I've listened and I've learned. In this world, it don't make sense. We watch our young people kill one another without giving thought. Why? Because that's how we depict it on that television. The media displays us as savages. And we behave as such because someone else decided that's what we had to be. But yet the true savages are our oppressors, the ones that kill, steal, and destroy. I've listened to people talk about each other and wonder, why would they say it in secret instead of saying it to the person? I've looked at the changes our world is going through, and I wonder why no one else can see it. They dumbing down our children at a rapid speed now. It's not like it used to be. They slowly dumbed after we started going up. They said, wait a minute, they're getting smart. Oh, we can't have that. So now they dumbing down our children, especially in the public school system. And our future really revolve around our children. The success and progress of our children determines the future days to come. I've watched the king accumulate goods for himself. Oh, sure, he let y'all have a little website leading to the sales of things from Walmart. But see, we don't have to be a Walmart. We could have been our own. That's why it took him so long to finally find a way to promote our goods. There's not one thing he said for us to do to bring us into a stronger force that I didn't attempt to do. And in that attempt, I got kicked down. Oh, he put all kind of forces against me, especially my family, knowing how important my family is to me. Oh, he used them like they was matchsticks. Every time I looked around, there was a fire going on. And because of the person that was feeding all these negative things to them, instead of them asking me or trying to find out the truth, they just believed it because the world is so wrapped up in evil. Am I an angel? No. Well, yes, but no. Have I done wrong so much so that I had to hang my own head down in shame with me? But have I ever hurt another person intentionally? Never. Why? Because I know what it felt like to be hurt, to be betrayed, to be denied, to be uncomfortable. Boy, I'm telling you, it's something to watch this world, to watch the behavior of the people and how they justify it. You know, there's a lot of talk going on about Kanye, and I can understand where he's coming from. About the selling of the soul and the sacrifices and the misfortunes. in his willingness and desire to serve God at this point in his life. He's telling you the truth, but because of our ignorance of truth, he's deemed as crazy. I agree. I was born ahead of my time too, Kanye. And I'm not even a person of influence like you, but I understand your words. In my time of being here, I just feel so, I don't know if the word afraid fits it, but astounded by the evil on this earth. And how it's been so embraced. How it's been so considered normal to be hateful and cruel and heartless. And then people want to make me like I'm the villain. But again, good has become bad and bad has become good. Am I all that good? No. But I sure ain't bad. I've not had any luck in almost anything in my life as far as people are concerned. But I've been very blessed that the Lord has taken care of me and my family. For all those that I've helped that are successful now, and those that I've helped that wouldn't be deemed as successful, but they know they was helped. I was at a place once when Oprah Winfrey came here to speak, and I asked this news reporter, because I didn't have a ticket, to help me to get in. And he said, "I'm sorry, ma'am, but I can't do that." Okay, I respected his position. But then I seen a crowd of people going by, and I got in that crowd, and I got into the show. And I had a message I wanted to give her, but she never came down the aisle quite far enough. So I said, "Lord, I got to talk to her. I got to find her. Where's her dressing room?" The Lord led me right to it. And there was another person with me. Oprah let me in her dressing room and closed the door in the other person's face. So when all the interviewers, news reporters and whatever came in, the one I had asked to help me get in, he was stunned when he saw me in her dressing room. He took a picture of me and Oprah, and he said he would get it to me, but I never got it. And I've asked him about it, but I never got it. But yet when he needed help to report on a story, and he had to go to a certain area, I knew friends. I helped him. He stayed at their home. When the young man wanted to use his land to produce businesses, I helped him after he had all those so-called dignitaries speak for him. And they still was bringing the hammer down on him. And I came up and I said, "Wait." I have something to say. Needless to say, and he had asked me to come as a support for him. Needless to say, his request to build was approved after I spoke. I couldn't get a job sweeping the floor with him. Oh, he acted like I never existed. And then I had a time in my life when I felt so rejected. I wanted someone to help me, someone. And I did the stupidest thing ever. And I took something. And these people was preaching and teaching about forgiveness and all that good stuff. Well, needless to say, I felt so ashamed of myself because it was really stupid. All I had to do was ask the person for it, and they would have given it to me. But I guess that was my cry for help. Of course, they never forgave me once I owned up to it and paid for what I had taken. It was some 10 years or so later, but it wore in my spirit so hard. Every time I thought about me, I felt low. It took me a long time. So I finally called them and I, met them and took them to lunch. And they never forgave me. And they was teaching about forgiveness. So that was one more element. Everything I've ever done that was in a negative, it was usually against me, myself, me, my character. No, this has not been an easy world for me. I really think I came before my time. I don't know, maybe, are any of you familiar with the Star Children? Have you ever heard of Star Children? Well, they're starting to evolve now. I'm looking at the age groups of the young people that's speaking in reference to God. They're starting to come out. Those of you that are Yahweh, you remember I was teaching on Star Children and their duties and responsibilities? Remember, Yahweh showed me what to show you? See, God is an everlasting God. And through all the turmoil and things that I went through, He still held me close. He never let me give up hope in my most trying and testing days. And even when I worked against myself, it wasn't to show me that my teachers weren't teaching me to be kind, loving, forgiving, believing. They were only going out for their own personal satisfaction. And I would look around and think most of the people was there for their own personal. They weren't there to be a servant or to improve the quality of life for other people. They were there to see what they could get. And they were loved and, held up high. All of that. But I'm okay for the most part. I'm glad who I am. Because who y'all are, it looks painful. Our young people with all that bitterness in their hearts, they look older than me. On the poor me syndrome. Always finding excuses to be hateful. I'm thankful that I can still smile. I can still laugh. I can still love. I can still care. Love in itself, the word got so overused that I don't even want nobody to love me no more. How about if you care about me? If you care about me, that's a whole nother subject. But if you love me, you'll turn on me quicker than I can shake my head. The grandchildren I gave up, had to because I ain't had nobody else to help me with them, not the mama nor the daddy. So much. The ones I raised, they're loving and kind and considerate of others. But some of them let the ones that had animosity in their heart for me, let that evil come into their hearts. They have no respect of the commitments I made to them. Almost to the point where I wish I had let them go ahead on into foster care. But I couldn't tolerate the idea of them thinking that no one cared enough about their well-being to take care of them. And the ones I didn't raise, they cruel, heartless, and hateful for real. Now, the ones I did raise, they do care about other people. But unfortunately, they have no appreciation of the commitment that I made to them. In 1994, I had a granddaughter that passed at 7 years old. I had no idea the impact she had made on so many lives. She had 2 funerals, one here in Raleigh and one in our hometown. And both of them was filled. Her memory lives on. My mom died 2 months after that. And I was gonna move her back to living with me because I had let her go to my brother's because she thought highly of him. But she ended up calling and asking, can she come stay with me? And I told her she was welcome. She was welcome from the beginning. But I wasn't going to allow her to curse me in my own home, you know, and belittle what commitment I had to her. And she said that wouldn't happen, but unfortunately she died on the day I was going to pick her up. Then it was something else. But I still honored my mother. And I know she did the best she could as a parent. So I hold no grudges against her. I love my mom. But I don't know who these other people be talking about sometimes when they talking about her. But I loved her. Then we moved to North Carolina because all the other family had moved back to North Carolina. And I wanted to be with my family because the only ones in New Jersey was her and I. So I came up with the bright idea, why don't we move back to North Carolina? Be with our family. My granddaddy, her daddy was here. Her sister was here. She had brothers here, cousins, and just family. I wanted to be with family. Only I wasn't received well by them either. You know, during the time I was there, I became a teacher. I taught acting, after school, a sheriff, a social worker. Because there was in intervals when I would leave, come back here, and go back home because I was trying to provide for my family. Employment Security Commission. Oh, I did all kind of jobs, honey. Office cleaning, trying to take care of my family, my mom and my children. Never made any friends really because I was always, soon as Friday come, I didn't want my family to think I was here partying, you know. As soon as I got off work at 11 o'clock, I was in the car on my way back to our hometown. Plus, I thought I had a mate there, but I really didn't. But as we did grow together, that mate, then he had children. I did the best I could by them too. However, they ended, I won't say they, but he had a daughter that ended up, for whatever reason she had, hated the very sight of me. And when she became of age, she moved with him. And needless to say, it was a horrible situation. Her hatred was so intense. I eventually found my own place. But I never lied to her about anything I spoke to her about. And then he finally found someone that she liked. In the end, that didn't turn out so well either. From what I heard, I don't know. But I do know there was 15 years of life gone. So I stumbled around in this world alone again. Then I met someone that helped me get through it. He died. Right before my eyes. But he tried to leave me a legacy, a way to make an income in case things didn't work out for me in the job world, which it never did. The Lord wouldn't let me hold a job to save my life. But he never let me lose anything. I have so much to be grateful for that I don't have time to dealing with y'all pettiness anymore. Hate never felt good to me, or disrespecting another never felt good to me. So I didn't do those things. Life goes on, and anyone that may be facing these type of issues, don't let it get you down, honey. Don't let family hatefulness or other people hatefulness change your love in your heart. It's not easy, but know that God is with you at all times. You are the Holy Ghost. And I was saying, the ones that was teaching me, supposed to be my spiritual leaders, obviously they didn't remember anything they learned from the um, first begotten Son to be raised from the dead. Dead means dead in spirit, mind, and heart. Not physical death, but emotional death, spiritual death. They didn't hear a word he said, or they couldn't have been fooled so easily. And promote falsehoods. Believe in life, y'all. Believe in the beauty that God has set before us. When you look at a tree, that's a great example I can use, and you see it bare, see the beauty in that bareness. When you look at a tree and you see it building leaves, growing leaves, look at the life that's been regenerated in that tree. Believe in the beauty of life. It's a very short experience. Even at 73, I'm like, dang, I mean, how did I let so many years go by me? And I didn't do all the things I wanted to do, or that I felt God had for me to do. Now, I'm jumping back and forth. Now, when my 7-year-old granddaughter passed, I thought, here this little girl is 7 years old, didn't have the opportunity to recognize any of her dreams. And that's when I did the TV show called ICE, Information Concerning Everyone. And I was speaking on Yahweh. That was in 95. And I did it, I think, till 97. Because I ended up caring for my grandchildren, as I was stating. And I had no one to watch them so I could go shoot. There was not a soul that was willing to help me, but everyone was willing to brag on me. I didn't need to be bragged on. I needed help. That never happened, so eventually the show, went down. Then I continued on raising my grandchildren, hoping I was doing all the right things, because I couldn't have fathomed the idea that also that my daughter had just, pretty well left the children up to me. And they had all finally gotten grown, and I was able to do some of the things that I wanted to do. Now, you may find it hard to believe this, but when Oprah Winfrey first started doing her shows, and she was talking about silly stuff that didn't make a difference, I would sit in front of that TV and say, no, 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 because I felt like we were an extension of each other. That's not what you're supposed to be teaching. You're supposed to be teaching about the glory of God, not so much using that word, but helping people to realize the many blessings. All that foolishness you talking don't matter. And she finally did come to doing master classes of people telling you the reason to believe. But I knew that she was meant to do more. I may not be who you want me to be, but I'm surely not your enemy. All my time of wanting to be fair and decent to everyone, because I just never experienced it. So the things that I've never experienced, I tried to give: kindness, respect, love, never feeling alone, always being available to someone if they needed my help. Oh, all those things backfired on me. I ain't got a soul I can call, I can look towards for nothing. Not one person. Am I mad or bitter? Nah. You know, God had his way for whatever he needed me to do. And for those that I did help, I hope that it has gone tenfold and that you found in your heart to help others. No matter how small or how big. If it was nothing but a kind, encouraging word, is it upsetting to me that I've committed myself to so many and there's not one committed to me? I wouldn't say upsetting, but it sure is hurtful to know that there's no one for you. But I do want to tell you about who Yahweh is. He is all things. He created everything on this earth, from the highest mountain to the deepest sea. And I still have hope that one day I'll be able to be a wonderful helpmeet to someone that believes in life. I don't feel lonely, thank you, Father. I don't feel afraid. Hallelujah. And I don't have hatred. Oh, thank you for that one. I've looked and listened a long time to this world. I wonder how the ones that's 100 they'll feel watching all the craziness going on.